Tonight, Obama has awarded the Medal of Honor. We'll tell you all about the heroic recipient.
Later, tomorrow is one of the biggest days in the 2016 election, Super Tuesday. We have the details.
Plus, stars graced the red carpet last night, and actors and actresses made history. We have your complete Oscars coverage.
Hello, and welcome to the MCTV Weekly News Update. I'm Max Stolfe.
And I'm Dylan Gordon. This morning, the Medal of Honor was awarded to Navy SEAL Edward Byers for his role in rescuing an American civilian from the Taliban. President Obama awarded Byers the nation's highest medal for valor in combat, citing the fact that only 5 SEALs have ever received the honor before. According to reports, Byers shielded the American civilian from gunfire while performing CPR on another SEAL. He has also received the Bronze Star of Valor and 2 Purple Hearts.
Did you know that there is approximately a 1 in 1,461 chance of being born on a leap day? The special day only happens every 4 years, but how did it start? The first calendar containing leap day was introduced by Julius Caesar in 46 BC, but his system was a bit longer than the solar year, which is the time span between the fall and spring equinoxes. Pope Gregory XIII noticed the leftover time and launched the Gregorian calendar in 1582. This system, which is still in use today, lessens the time difference in the solar year. Leap day occurs almost every 4 years, except those not divisible by 400. As a result, the years 2100, 2200, and 2300 will not have a leap day. So we hope you enjoy your extra day.
After a recent drop in the poll, New Jersey Governor Christie decided to drop out of the presidential race. However, this does not mean that Christie has given up on the White House. It now looks like Christie may be vying for the vice presidential nomination. After stepping down from the race, he later announced his support for candidate Donald Trump. According to Christie, Trump will turn the White House around if he takes office next year.
Tomorrow is Super Tuesday, which means the Democratic and Republican nominees are finally to be chosen. 13 states will hold their presidential primary, and with 22% of delegates up for grabs, it could change the entire landscape of the election. For the Democrats, it's possible for Bernie Sanders to eliminate the considerable amount of, quote, superdelegates Hillary Clinton has on the Republican side. If another candidate doesn't surpass Donald Trump, then any chance for someone else to become the nominee could disappear.
Our own political race is heating up. This week, we had the chance to sit down with SGA presidential candidate Joe Puglisi. Take a look.
Would you address them?
This is my favorite question. So, as I said, I spent the past 2 years working in academics. So, a lot of the big infrastructure issues that are facing our school, we've already been working on. So, registration is easily one of the biggest problems we have on campus. And what major are you?
I am a broadcast journalism major.
Broadcast journalism. Okay, so I know in our media communications classes, 54% of them are currently being overridden into. 96% of our economics classes are being overridden into. 75% of our business classes, 52% of our comm, 54% of our fashion. And I've gone through every field of study that we have at Marist. We have a 12-page proposal that has been written up. It has the approval from the 2 largest faculty committees on campus, and it seeks to directly attack the registration problem that we're facing and sort of make that a little bit easier for our students, because we shouldn't be struggling to register for our classes. Students shouldn't have to worry about whether they're going to be full-time this year, whether they're going to be able to live on campus, if they're going to take enough classes for that. Students shouldn't be worrying about that, and that's what we want to do.
We have so much to worry about already,
exactly.
Right? So Marist is going through a veritable transitional period. We have incumbent president David Yellen coming in. How do you think his learning the ropes will affect your role if you are elected student government president?
Yeah, so I met with David Yellen when he came here, and he did his little introduction. We met with him in student government prior to that, and we got to talk to him for about 30 minutes to an hour. And you could tell he has a nice vision for the school. Just the fact alone that he is coming from a law school and I am pre-law.
Right.
I can already see we're going to have some stuff to talk about, so that'll be pretty nice. But in regards to his vision for the school, I think there's definitely some things he wants to change, and that's why Amy and I think we'd be perfect for that role, because it's a new set of eyes with a new set of ideas that can help tell him exactly where the students' concerns are.
Speaking of Amy Mike Schock, your vice president.
Yep.
What does she bring to the table that your campaign needs?
She brings something that is so essential. Student government has had this view for quite some time now with a large portion of the population that it's not really as effective as it should be, that students get in these top positions to take photos with top administrators and go to fancy dinners and whatnot, and it's just like this whole elitist vibe that, you know, honestly, you're probably going to get in any form of government.
Right.
But what Amy brings to the table is she started out in student government 2 years ago when I was in the Vice President of Academic Affairs spot for the first year under the Student Academic Council, which is the board that I run.
Right.
And she did it for a year, then she went abroad, and when we asked her to come back, she didn't really want to do it, and when I asked her to be my running mate at first, she declined too, because she doesn't like this whole vibe that SGA has. She doesn't like that it's not as effective as it could be.
Right.
And eventually I was able to tell her the only way you're going to be able to change that is by getting in that spot yourself and making it effective. So she brings a set of eyes that are the portion of the population that feel that SGA isn't effective, and in turn, that's going to be how we make it more effective.
Right. Now, one last question, and Joe, I got to ask you.
Yeah.
The rap.
The
Rap.
gosh.
What was the inspiration behind it?
Scratch that, we're not a campaign, we're a movement. We started with a vision and desire for improvement. The election's heating up and we're liking our chances. We just want to be forthcoming on all of our stances. We hear the concern of the Red Fox Nation. That's why our first order of business is to fix registration. We're the only candidates who have a policy solution. So you know we're fresh, we're not political pollution. So the inspiration behind the rap is these elections tend to get so heated, and everybody will try to make them seem like the presidential elections, especially this year with there actually being a presidential race going on right now. And we wanted to lighten the mood a little bit. And we wanted to show that even though these elections are serious and that you're choosing the next leaders in a pivotal year for our school, that we could still be lighthearted, that we're all students, and that sometimes we just need to have fun with some things.
You were spitting some bars there, too.
I tried, yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be a hobby of mine. I kind of
You freestyle?
I brought it back.
What's your rap name, if you have one?
Oh gosh, J Money. I don't know. I don't have one, but we'll go with that.
Well, Jay Money, thank you for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you. This has been
a pleasure for you guys having me.
Andrew Auger, Road to the Rotunda series, Marist College Television.
Impression?
The election happens today, and we'll have the results to you for next week.
A lot of elections happening this week.
Definitely. It's definitely heating up, though, with the Marist one. It's anyone's game, essentially. So.
Yeah, that's what it seems. There's no real clear cut.
Guess we'll have to wait and see.
There's no Donald Trump.
No, absolutely no. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
So.
Well, you know, it's been pretty warm this weekend. Did you do anything fun?
Yeah. I hope this weather stays. Here's Grace Cunningham to give us a look at this week's weather.
Thanks for the heads up.
Cunningham with this week's highs and low report. A snowy start to March to the Midwest and East. Looks like it. Midweek, we're expected to see some snow brought in through our system, with cold air being brought in from Canada with moisture that is going to feed into our storm system, producing a problematic snowy mix. Today, on February 29th, we had a high of 56 and a low of 32. Today's average was 43 with a low of 20. We had an all-time record of a high of 73 degrees and a low of -7. Our Monday morning started off with a sunrise at 6:31 a.m. and our day came to an end with the sun setting at 5:46 p.m. Tonight it will be mostly clear with a low of 32, a 0% of precipitation, and west winds of 14 miles per hour. Tomorrow, on Tuesday, March 1st, it will be a mostly high of 49 and a 0% chance of precipitation with northwest winds of 6 miles per hour. Now, here's our 7-day forecast for this week. Today, a high of 56 and a low of 32 with cloudy skies. Tuesday, we have a high of 51 and a low of 37 with cloudy skies. Wednesday, there's a high of 51 with a low of 37 and scattered showers throughout the day. Thursday, sunny skies with a high of 40 and a low of 21. Our weekend starts off with partly sunny skies with a high of 36 and a low of 17. Our Saturday is bright and sunny with a high of 42 and a low of 25. Our weekend comes to an end with mostly clearly sunny skies with a high of 48 and a low of 27. No matter what the weather is, some days you just have to create your own sunshine. I'm Grace Cunningham, 36 and a low of 17. Our Saturdays.
A drive-by shooting left 3 people dead on Thursday. It happened at a manufacturing plant in Kansas by an employee. During his rampage, the man, who has yet to be identified, fired an assault rifle out his window, critically injuring 14 people. The suspect was later killed in a gunfight with police outside of the plant.
Following a ceasefire between the United States, Russia, and their allies, the fighting in Syria stopped this weekend and a truce was called. Under the current agreement, those on both sides of the war believe the fighting should stop to allow the necessary humanitarian aid to be delivered to Syrian citizens, and talks on ending the conflict should begin. The United Nations has called the truce for the best option for peace. The civil war started 5 years ago, and as a result, more than 250,000 people have been killed and 11 million people have become homeless.
An American journalist detained in Bahrain earlier this month has claimed the country deprived her and her team of human necessities and is planning on filing a lawsuit against the government over their mistreatment. Anna Therese Day was held by the Bahraini government for 2 days and claims she was not allowed any food or water. In addition, Day was unable to talk to an attorney or call the U.S. Embassy. Day was in the Persian Gulf country to cover the 50th anniversary of the country's Arab Spring protest. She is just one of the many journalists to be targeted by the government for being critical of their regime.
Coming up, why a unicorn was the cause for a 3-hour police chase.
Plus, there are hundreds of video game characters running around New York City. We'll fill you in. Stay tuned.
Look around you. You probably know somebody affected by sexual assault.
It knows no gender. It can affect men, women, everybody.
It's not as if we as college kids can't do anything about it.
It's really important to educate everyone about how they're involved in terms of preventing it.
Oh, that could never happen to me. I'll never be that person in that situation, but it can happen to anybody, and it's scary.
It takes a lot of courage and bravery to say something.
We should say something because it is happening, it's happened, and it should be stopped.
It is a huge issue that occurs on college campuses worldwide.
And we can't tiptoe around it anymore.
It's important to be safe and know who you're with and trust who you're with.
Intaking massive amounts of alcohol, it's not a beneficial choice to make. Yes, you can still have fun, but be smart about it.
If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Just as a human being, you have the responsibility to step in if you don't feel things are natural or as positive as they could be.
We're Marist College, and it's on us.
We're Marist College, and it's on us.
We're Marist College.
And it's on us.
We're Marist College, and it's on us.
We're Marist College, and it's on us.
We are Marist College. It's on us.
We are Marist, and it's most definitely on us.
California police recently ended up in a 4-hour chase with a unicorn. After receiving calls about a horned equine running around the road, officers ended up on a pursuit that required the use of a helicopter with heat-seeking radar to track down the mythical beast. It turns out that the unicorn was actually just a normal horse dressed up for a photo shoot. The California Highway Patrol originally believed that the caller who reported the incident was on hallucinogenic drugs. This is the first time the runaway unicorn has been reported in the area. My God, that was so shocking I couldn't even read it correctly.
Unicorn. I thought I'd seen it all, but this is quite the story.
You know what? Hey, don't go chasing unicorns.
I,
you know,
I guess
don't do
not.
it.
That's just anyway.
I wonder how fast that unicorn had to have been running to have warranted a police chase.
Well, maybe he should give some tips to some athletes. Here's Michael Conway with your weekly sports report.
Hello, I'm Michael Conway, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. In most recent MLB news, Phillies pitcher Cliff Lee has decided to hang up his cleats and officially retire. Lee's career lasted a long 13 years and resulted in a coveted Cy Young Award in 2008, alongside 4 All-Star Game appearances in 2008, 10, 11, and 13. Lee ended his career with over 2,000 innings pitched, 143 wins, and only 91 losses, leaving him with a .611 win-loss percentage. In other MLB news, the Chicago Cubs are the early favorite to win the World Series. After an extremely impressive season last year and an NL Championship Game appearance, the Cubs have been put at 7-1 odds to take home the trophy. The early prediction certainly places a lot of pressure on the club to live up to the hype that was left over from last year's historic postseason run. including their first NL championship appearance since 2003. In other sports news, Ohio State defensive end Joey Bosa posted combine stats eerily similar to those of Texans defensive end J.J. Watt. So far during this year's NFL Combine, the best athletes in all of college football have been given the chance to show their stuff. One remarkable athlete, defensive end Joey Bosa from Ohio State, has had his chance and performed remarkably similar to NFL defensive end J.J. Watt. Known for his super serious work ethic and aggressive defense, Watt's 2011 Combine numbers were staggering. His 40-yard dash came in at 4.48 seconds, while his 20-yard shuffle came in at 4:21. Watt also finished the three-cone drill in 6.88 seconds. Fast forward to this year's Combine and meet Joey Bosa. Predicted to go 5th overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars, Bosa performed exceptionally with eerily similar numbers to Watt's 2011 performance. Bosa did the 40-yard dash in a similar 4.86 seconds, just 0.02 seconds faster than Watt. Their 20-yard shuffle was exactly the same, and their three-cone drills had a difference of 0.01 seconds. Only time will tell if Bosa can be as dominant in the NFL as his Combine counterpart J.J. Watt. In Marist sports news, spring is right around the corner, and with it, America's pastime, the great game of baseball. Marist baseball is off to a rough 2-4 start this season after suffering a 9-7 loss as part of a 3-game series against High Point University. The Red Foxes traveled to High Point, North Carolina on February 26, where they finished their series with 1 win and 2 losses. In their most recent game against the High Point Panthers, the Red Foxes put up a fanatical effort which involved junior Zachary Rouskin's 2-for-5 day at the plate that created 2 RBIs. Other contributing Foxes included senior co-captain Joey Aola, who scraped across 3 of Marist's 7 runs with a 1-for-3 day at the plate. The Foxes' 10-hit effort wasn't enough to match the 17-hit, 9-run day that the Panthers were able to put on the board. Their schedule resumes on March 4th, which begins a 3-game series with Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia. Thanks so much for tuning in this week to the Sports Report. I'm Michael. Fox's 10-hit effort wasn't enough to match.
Macklemore's highly anticipated follow-up to his breakout album, The Heist, dropped over the weekend. Dubbed This Unruly Mess I've Made, the semi-controversial rapper took an introspective approach to his latest album. It opens with Light Tunnels, criticizing the music industry for capitalizing on celebrity feuds, wardrobe malfunctions, and rants. Macklemore takes a more bombastic turn with the pre-released hit Downtown before sobering listeners to the centerpiece of the album, Growing Up, which is about his newborn daughter. The album has received mixed reviews in no small part because of the finale song, White Privilege 2, aimed at provoking the discussion of race relations in America.
Macklemore wasn't the only one publicly commenting on controversial topics. Actors and actresses last night shared the Oscar stage with some pretty heavy social commentary. Here's Jake Hensler with a breakdown of the 88th Academy Awards.
All right, thank you. I'll catch up with you later, really, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm your entertainment host, Jake Hensler. It is so great to be here with such a star-studded news team. We got Erin Murtha directing. Give it up for Erin Murtha. What a great time she is. We got Dylan and Max at the desk tonight. How fantastic that is. Always phenomenal they are. And oh my God, is that the MCTV president I see? Wow, what a time to be alive, man. It really is just an honor to be here, though. It really is. Thank you so much for this opportunity, really. Speaking of opportunities, Chris Rock wasted no time at all addressing the diversity, or lack thereof, at the Oscars last night. His opening statement to his closing, he never failed to bring up the elephant in the room. But in case you missed all that, the Academy Awards were last night, which is basically my Super Bowl, so that's about all I'm going to talk about today. The biggest win? Yes. Leonardo DiCaprio received his much-coveted Oscar last night and was typical classy Leo in his acceptance speech, though I don't believe he was seen vaping at all. Thank God. Bad look for the program there, big guy. But fanboys also lost their Han Solo action figures when Star Wars went home empty-handed, with a surprise win in the visual effects category going to Ex Machina. Others were surprised that Stallone lost the supporting actor race to Mark Rylance from Bridge of Spies. Spotlight seemed to pick up its lack of momentum to win the biggest prize of the night in Best Picture. Iñárritu got the repeat director win. We found out George Miller might be an abusive husband when it was discovered that his wife had to edit the entirety of Mad Max, which ended up being the big winner of the night, taking home 6 awards. Who would have thunk it? So yes, now that Leo has finally won, you can all stop either laughing at him or crying with him and get on with your lives. Now that that little ghost statue is probably going to be melted down and donated to global warming research anyways. But what's to come? Well, just your average ordinary stuff, I guess. Award season is over. I guess you can all look forward to Disney's next big movie this weekend with Zootopia, but that's all I have for now. I'm Jake Hensler, your host for entertainment, giving you the fun stuff in a world of rough stuff. Except that the only person who had it rough last night who was Stacey Dash. Who? Yeah, I know. But that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. You're all amazing, each and every one of you. And thank you, thank you. Good night. Have a great night.
To mark the 20th anniversary, the creators of Pokemon unleashed 20 mascot-sized Pikachus on an unsuspecting New York City on Saturday. The Pikachus required a team of handlers to navigate around the city, drawing crowds of all ages. The Pokemon franchise has exploded over the last 2 decades to include over 700 different species, nearly 20 movies, television shows, and most recently, the announcements of the highly anticipated 7th generation of the franchise, Sun and Moon. Details of the game have remained scarce, but fans can expect these new titles to be out in time for the holidays this year.
Turns out you can teach an old dog new tricks. 4 sheltered rescue dogs from slums and abandoned lots around Sao Paulo were trained as ball dogs for the Brazil Open tournament. Their job? To retrieve balls that went out of bounds at an exhibition match on Thursday, and then give them back to the players. They didn't like the giving back part as much as the getting the ball part, but a local shelter hopes to raise awareness with its Ball Dog initiative. In case you were wondering, the 4 dogs were named Frida, Mel, Isabella, and Costella, the Portuguese word for rib. Sunday, they are expected to take part in the awards ceremony.
Well, that's insanely cute.
It's adorable.
Oh,
it's adorable.
They should totally.
I'm a huge dog guy.
They
So.
should bring that to the United States. I would love.
I just want to watch the players try to take the ball from the dog.
It's a
That's
whole-
a sport in and of itself.
It's a whole game in itself.
That's
yeah.
a sport. So
They should definitely bring it.
absolutely.
Well, that's all the news we have for you tonight. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next week. Good night.
Guess we didn't say our names.
They know who we are. I mean,
Kind of a big deal.